What if overnight you turned into an absolute minimalist and you only wanted to keep 50 of your products? I currently have around 250 makeup products, and so I would really have to shrink it down to a fifth of its original size in order to reach that 50 product goal. And I haven't really put more thought into it, so I'm just gonna do it with you. And I'll use the pictures that I had from my inventory video that I did in July of 2025. So I can show you what I have in each category. It hasn't really changed too much. I may have finished a few things here or there. So it should be a somewhat accurate representation of what is in that makeup category. Ideally, at the end of this video, I will be able to fit everything in this container. This is a base makeup bag. I've had it for years. This is what I use to travel with, so I know it's possible that I can fit a full face worth of makeup in here. I'm optimistic, but still a little unsure. And so I'll just go in the same order that I did with my inventory, and I'll start with brow products. Technically, I only have one brow product right now, and it's this AOA Dual Brow Definer in taupe. It has a thicker side and then a micro fine side. And I actually don't love this. I like it well enough, I use it, and I will finish it, but the color of this is a touch warmer and lighter than I would want it to be. But if I have a special occasion and I want my brows to be like perfect, I will actually use this Wonderskin eyeshadow stick in the shade Mink. It's a matte eyeshadow stick and the color is perfect. I just use an angled brush and I grab a little bit of this and I put it in my brows, and it's exactly what I want it to do. It's the right color, it's a great formula, and so I would actually use this as my sole brow product, even though it's not technically in my brow category. I haven't used an eyebrow gel in forever. I just don't really like how that feels in my brows, and I don't think it does anything special for me to go out and buy it. Really, I'm just looking to kind of fill in the gaps and maybe do some shaping, but I don't really need anything too intense. The next category is eyeliners. In the photo, it looks like I have 4, but I actually finished one of those, the one on the very left, the Wonderskin eyeliner. So I have 3 left, and they're all from Essence. This is my favorite eyeliner formula. They're super affordable. I have repurchased these over the years, and I use this nude pencil on my lower lash line every single day. I do want to keep this, but I also want an actual liner for my upper line. So do I want brown or black? Maybe a few months ago I would have chosen the brown, but I've since moved over to using the black every day because I finished my Wonderskin one, and I actually really like how that looks. So I think right now I would choose the black. So for eyeliners, I'm keeping 2. I'm keeping the nude and the black version of the Essence liners. Inside of this container, I have this small Bare Minerals container, and I'm going to put all of my smaller products in here just to keep things more organized and compact. So that's where these 3 are going. Next up is eyeshadow primers. I like all of these eyeshadow primers. I think they're all great. I love having a glitter primer in case I'm doing something really glittery and special, but I don't think I need to have a glitter primer and a regular eye primer. I really like the one from Jason Wu. And I like the one from Ulta too. The one from Sigma's fine, but this one is my favorite. And if I for some reason have an extra makeup product out of my 50 allowance at the end of this, I might come back and grab the glitter glue, but I think for now I'll just stick to this. I say that, but do I mean it? Okay, mascaras. I only have 2 mascaras right now, and the one I'm currently wearing, the Tower 28 one, I don't actually like that much. I'm kind of in a pickle with this because I've never actually tried the other one that I have, which is the Wonderskin Infinite Riz mascara. And I have tried mascaras in the past that I didn't like at all, and that could be the case for the Wonderskin one, and I don't want to risk having that be my only mascara and it be one that I actively do not like. The Tower 28 one is okay, so actually I think I'll choose this one over the Wonderskin one just because I really don't know what the Wonderskin one is like. Eyeshadow palettes, I'm gonna have to come back to that one. Same with eyeshadow singles, I'm gonna have to come back. For highlighters, I'm allowing liquid highlighters and powder highlighters to be 2 different categories so I can keep one of each. I have not wanted to buy or try a new powder highlight in a long time, and the majority of the highlighters that I have are just in face palettes. I really like this one from Becca. This is long discontinued. It's the Berlin Girl Glow Champagne highlighter. This is beautiful and it's very subtle. You can build it up. I do really like this. I've actually panned a full size of this in the past, so I think I'm actually gonna keep the Berlin Girl Glow one. As for liquid highlights, I love the Charlotte Tilbury Spotlight wand. If I had that in my collection currently, that would be the one that I choose, but I don't have it. I do have something very similar to it. It's also a Charlotte Tilbury wand, but it's in the shade Pillow Talk instead of Spotlight. So it's more of a pink rose gold versus a traditional champagne gold like Spotlight is. Blushes. Again, I'm gonna have cream and liquid blushes and powder blushes be two different categories. I have a lot of cream blushes that I really love, but the Rare Beauty Wisdom shade is a long-time favorite. I love, love, love this. So this would be the one that I keep. For powder blushes, I think I would let myself have two, maybe more, I don't know. Mood Exposure, I would absolutely want to keep. This would be a really great everyday color. I love Ecstasy from Charlotte Tilbury. I love Head in the Clouds from Too Faced, Buxom Seychelles. I really like Flirt Alert. And then this duo from LH Cosmetics is stunning. It's got like a beautiful purple mauve. Also has a little bit of a subtle silvery sheen. This one hurts, but I think I'll stick to Head in the Clouds because Mood Exposure is more of a neutral, natural shade, and then Head in the Clouds is a little more colorful. I don't really have like a peach version in here, but that's fine. So painfully, these would be the two blushes that I keep. For bronzers, I don't think I necessarily need to have a liquid bronzer and a powder bronzer, even though I do really like the contour one from Charlotte Tilbury. And I'm trying to stay away from the face palettes because in my inventory, in my collection, I count those as individual products by pan. So if I were to take that Smashbox face palette, that would count as a highlighter, two blushes, and a bronzer, even if I'm just keeping it for the bronzer. I really like the mini bronzer from Hourglass that I have in Diffused Bronze Light. I bring this with me traveling because it's a smaller size. And I really like how this looks on my skin. It's a little difficult to build up, but it's definitely possible. And I'm actively reaching for this newest bronzer in my collection from Give Me Glow in Good Times and Tan Lines. I really like this because it has kind of an olive tone to it, and so it does work really well for me in the summer when I have slightly more sun, slightly more of tan, but I don't think this would be a really good all year round bronzer. And then I have this one from Fenty that I really, really like. So it would kind of just be between these two. I think I'll go with the Fenty. I like that this is more of a matte product versus the Hourglass one is more satin. I'm not always going for a super glowy look like that, so I think the Fenty one would be the one that I stick with. For face powders, I would count the powder that I use to set my face and the powder that I use to set my under eyes as two different categories. For my under eyes, I do really love this one from Fenty. It's their lavender powder, and I use this as an under eye powder and I love it. I think it's beautiful. And you get a lot of product in here. It is a bit bulky. It's gonna take up a lot of real estate in my bag, but it's still worth it. For the powder that I would use to set my whole face, I do really like the RCMA powder. I've gone through one of these and repurchased it, and this is what I'm wearing every day to set up my makeup right now. But I really like this one from Nikia Joy. I like to set my full face. I like to have a set feeling face. And I get really oily, and I think this does a really great job at preventing that from happening too soon. So I would stick to the Nikia Joy one. Concealers. Okay, in this picture I have color correctors, under eye concealers, and green color correctors, as well as a white color corrector too. I would like to keep the white color corrector just because I think it's great for lightening anything I have. And for under eye color correctors, I have three to choose from. The one from Becca, from Makeup Revolution, and from Charlotte Tilbury. And out of those three, I do prefer the Charlotte Tilbury one, so that's the one I would stick to. For green color corrector, I just did a video comparing all 14 of the green ones that I have. It's kind of hard to narrow it down to one, but I think the one I would stick to is this one from Kimchi, the Most Concealer. I mentioned in my video that this reminds me a lot of the Exa concealer. They're not exact dupes, but they're very similar. And I know that the Exa one, I get like 99 wears out of before it's finished. Whereas this one, I think I'm gonna get a lot more out of it. And then under eye concealer, I really like the Makeup Revolution Eye Bright, but this is not super full coverage, and there are occasions where I want something more pigmented. The Natasha Denona one is very pigmented, but I don't need this much full coverage on an everyday basis. So I think I'll actually stick with both of these. I'll grab both. Isn't that so funny? Out of this one, technically one category, I'm actually keeping 5 products. Currently, we're at 18 out of my 50 product allowance, so I think that's pretty good. That means I might be able to go back to some categories and have a few more options, a little more variety. For foundation, I feel like I could just choose one foundation because I have a lot of concealers that I can use to adjust this one shade over time, like throughout the year. A foundation I've really been loving in my collection is this one from Urban Decay. It's the Face Bond foundation, and I'm in the shade Too Fair Neutral. It's what I'm wearing on my skin today, and I really like that this helps my makeup not break down throughout the day. Even if I get a little bit shiny, which I don't get shiny as quickly as I do with some other foundations. Like, I love the About Face foundation, but that one just does not have the longevity that I personally need, especially in the summertime. With this foundation, even if I get a little oily throughout the day, I can easily blot it and my makeup still looks intact underneath, like it hasn't been broken down. It also works well with green color corrector with some other things I've mixed in with it, so I think it's just a very good flexible foundation that gives me the level of pigment and the longevity that I'm looking for. So this will be the foundation that I keep. I do have a powder foundation. I don't know if I necessarily need it. I just really don't reach for it very much. That powder foundation is the same one I've had for a couple years now. Yeah, I don't really feel like I need it. I think I'm good with my foundations. For primer, I do really like the Control one from Smashbox for oil control. And then I'm actively trying to finish this one from Jason Wu, and I really love it. They both serve very different purposes, just depending on what I'm going for that day. So I think I will keep both of these as my primer choice. For setting sprays, I know I really like this Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. This does leave a slightly dewier look. It doesn't make my skin more dewy, it just kind of gives that natural sheen, which is lovely. I do feel like this actually sets my makeup though, which is great. And out of the choices I have, I don't like the one size one. And the Jason Wu one is truly just okay. And as much as I like the all-nighter, I don't love what Urban Decay is doing right now with their all-nighter, if you're aware of like what's going on with them in Scandinavia. I've had Scandinavia sprays in the past and really liked them, so if I had one of those in my collection, that would be the one that stays. But I think for now, I'll just stick to the Charlotte Tilbury one. Lip liners. I have a lot of lip liners and I really love them, but I think I could realistically just be fine with one. You can say it with me, NYX Mauve. This is the newer shade, the newer formula, and I really like it. I think it's beautiful for every day, so this would be the one that I keep. Lipsticks. I'm gonna come back to this one. Lip glosses. Lip glosses is tough. I think I would want 2 lip glosses. The first one is Daisy Pink by Lawless. I love this color, I love this formula. And then if I wanted something more pigmented or more maybe for every day, I really like this Natasha Denona gloss. It's like almost the exact same shade as my lips. I know it would go really well with the mauve as like an everyday gloss formula. So these would be the 2 that I keep. Liquid lipstick, I don't feel like I need to keep or have one of those. And for tinted lip balms, I really like all the ones that I have, but I think I would probably go with this one from Summer Fridays. This is in the shade Birthday Cake, and it smells really nice, but it's just a clear gloss. It would be something that I could wear overnight if I wanted, or just have something really easy for like when I'm out and about. So my last categories are lipsticks and eyeshadows, and I'm actually only at 26. So I could have some room to play around. I might bring that NYX glitter glue back into the mix since I do have more left over or available in my 50 cap. So this is like in the running, I'm not sure. We'll have to see once we kind of dig into the eyeshadows. With all the products I have currently, I feel like my makeup bag is pretty snug right now, so I may have to go up to a bigger bag. Yeah, I want to be able to hold my palettes and lipsticks and not squish everything. I'm looking through all of my eyeshadows, and I think what I would do realistically is keep some eyeshadow palettes that have a lot of good just like neutral shades or everyday shades, like easy mattes and stuff, and then go more colorful and sparkly and special with my singles. And in this scenario, I'm counting an eyeshadow palette as one thing and an eyeshadow single as also another thing. I really love the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette, so I would keep this as one of my palettes. Another one I would keep is the I Need a Nude palette from Natasha Denona. It just has a lot of really great like neutral, natural shades. And this matte here, Mesh, is like my perfect crease shade right now. And it does have some pretty sparkly shades too. I would want to keep at least one of my What's Up palettes. I really like this Dragon palette. It just has so many beautiful colorful colors. But the Desert Monsoon, I actively bring this with me when I travel all the time. I like that it has a few more everyday shades here, but then some pops of color. So actually I think I would keep both of these. That hurts. I have a lot of beautiful palettes, but when it comes down to it, I feel good about keeping these 4. Forgot about this LH Cosmetics Shimmer Saga palette. I really like this too. This and the NYX Glitter Glue, these are kind of in the gray category. I'm not sure if I'll add them at the end. It really depends on how these singles work out. Wait, I forgot about my Lethal palette. Oh, I want to keep this too. Okay, we're at 31. So that means I have 19 single eyeshadows and lipsticks that I can keep. And I forgot, I do like to have a pressed powder for setting my face on occasion. So this one from e.l.f. I think I will also keep, so that's 32. I have all of my single shadows housed in this one palette, and I'm gonna move them into this smaller palette. Ideally, I could fit it in like an even smaller palette, so we'll see. I know I wanna keep Xenon from Give Me Glow. This is a beautiful multi-chrome shade. This is kind of like my special occasion shade, like when I'm going to a concert or something. And if I plan to keep this, then I'm definitely gonna want the glitter glue. So that's 33 products. I love this purple matte. I'm actively trying to finish it. This is 143 from ColourPop, and I don't have any other shades like this in my collection, so definitely gonna keep that. And then I like to have Haven from Sydney Grace to go with it, just to help blend it out better. And then I like to have these 3 mattes to set my eyeshadow primer. These are all from Ulta, Coconut, Good Vibes, and Purest Snow. Kind of want some greens. I think I'm gonna have to move to a bigger palette. I don't really have a lot of greens in my eyeshadow palettes, so I would definitely want to take some with me. This is Team Captain by ColourPop. I have so many beautiful blue-green colors. And then these 2 big ones from Give Me Glow in the corner, those are really pretty too. I want to definitely keep Pretty Little Lilac, so I'm gonna put that in a second smaller container. And this shade Ivy League from Sydney Grace, this is a relatively unique matte. I also really love Red Chameleon from Sydney Grace. So that's 9 mattes right there. And then I have this smaller container that I can put Pretty Little Lilac in. So that's what I'll do, make that its own separate thing. That single shadow makes it 34 plus 9 is 43. And I do want to keep the LH Cosmetics quad. So that's 44. Meaning I have 6 lipsticks left. Okay, that was insanely hard to take it down to just 6 lipsticks, but I feel like I have a good mix of colors and formulas. So let me show you my breakdown. I love having lip stains. I wanted to keep at least one, and I really like this one from Wonder Skin. This is in the shade Adore. I think if I still had Whimsical, I probably would have chosen that, but this is really beautiful too. It's just a little more subtle. This Bisou Balm by Batiste, it's such a beautiful color. It also would make a beautiful cream blush. And I know I wanted to keep one Charlotte Tilbury Kissing lipstick, and I decided to stick to 90s Pink. It's a little bit deeper, beautiful color. Really love this formula. And then a couple other nudes I have are this sheer lipstick in Luz from Nabla. Beautiful color. Sheer, really great for like everyday comfortable formulas. And then I also have this more brownie nude from Natasha Denona in the shade Natasha. It's like my perfect nude shade. And then I do have this sort of plummy purple lipstick from Ulta in the shade Fabulous. I love this. So I'm going for more of like a bolder lip, and I don't want to go more red like with Batiste. Then I have this one. This would also make, and any of these would make really beautiful cream blushes too. I have a lot of clicky sticks that I really love, but I just had to make some difficult choices, and I feel good about it. I don't think I necessarily need 3 mattes for setting, so I think I'll actually take that out. So I only have 8 singles in here instead of 9. And that way I can bring in Milani's Keep It Full Clicky Lipstick in the shade Moi. I did it. I have exactly 50 products in here. Lots of things to choose from, lots of fun stuff, and it fits perfectly in there. And I would also have room to put my makeup brushes in there too. That's wonderful. I ended up going with a bigger container than I originally thought, but that's perfectly fine. I didn't want everything squished in there. Everything has like a nice spot to go. Amazing. I love it. Okay, let's do a quick run through of everything that I ended up choosing. And I'll start with eyeshadow palettes. I have Rose Quartz from Huda Beauty and I Need a Nude from Natasha Denona, Desert Monsoon and the Dragon Eye palette from What's Up Beauty, my Lethal custom palette. I do have a video where I go over every shade if you're curious to know what's in here. My LH Cosmetics Shimmer Saga quad, and then this small palette of singles. Wish I had a few more greens, but I do have some beautiful greens in my Dragon Eye palette and a really pretty green from my Lethal palette. And then I did keep a single here from Give Me Glow. It's in the shade Pretty Little Lilac. It's a beautiful color. For primers, I have the Jason Wu primer and the Smashbox Control primer, the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, and then for powders, I have the Fenty Lavender powder to set my under eyes, and then Nikia Joy powder for my face. And then I also have this e.l.f. Perfect Finish HD powder. It's a pressed powder because sometimes I like to use pressed instead of loose to set my face. The Becca Berlin Girl Glow highlighter, the Fenty bronzer, I'm in the shade 10 Into Sun, and then this color corrector here from Charlotte Tilbury. And the two powder blushes I decided to keep were Too Faced Head in the Clouds and Hourglass Mood Exposure. And then for all of my smaller products, I would say like half of my 50 products are just in this little piece alone. I kept my Urban Decay Face Bond foundation, and all my pencil products are the Wonder Skin eyeshadow stick in Mink. I would use this in the brows, this NYX Mauve lip liner, and then these two Essence eyeliners. I have a mini cream blush in Wisdom by Rare. I kept the NYX glitter primer and the Jason Wu eyeshadow primer. For concealers, I have this white one from LA Girl, this green one from Kimchi Beauty, and then the Makeup Revolution concealer and the Natasha Denona concealer. I have the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk wand for highlight and the Tower 28 mascara. And then the rest is lips. I have this Summer Fridays Birthday Cake Lip Balm, the Milani Keep It Full Click Stick in the shade Moi, the Lawless Lip Gloss in Daisy Pink, and the Natasha Denona Natasha lip gloss. And then my last lipsticks are Nabla's Luz, Wonder Skin Adore, Violet FR Betise, Charlotte Tilbury 90s Pink, Natasha Denona Natasha, and Ulta Fabulous. Wow. I really wasn't sure if I'd be able to make it all fit with the amount of eyeshadow palettes that I chose and with some bigger products like those big powders and the setting sprays and stuff, but I was able to do so. That was really fun. I think there are some limitations to the exercise because I'm only choosing stuff that I already have. It's different from like if I were to only have one thing from a category, but it could be anything, then that would be a different answer. I probably wouldn't even have a powder highlight. I would probably just have a liquid highlight, and it would be the one from Charlotte Tilbury in Spotlight, which I don't currently have. But I still think this was really fun to look at my collection and think if I really had to pare everything down to 50 just to fit in this one container, I could do it and not even feel that bad about it. Although I'm just looking at all my lipsticks right now and they're so beautiful. Same with my eyeshadows. I'm glad this is just a hypothetical. I'm glad I'm keeping everything I have. I did do a video like this a long time ago where I went through all of my products and I decluttered exactly half. So I split every category in two of what I would keep and what I would get rid of. That was a little while ago. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that and see how much of the stuff I still have. But in the meantime, that's everything I have. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.